Welcome everybody to Windsor Regional Hospital, Ouellette Campus. Great crowd. Look at the upstairs, and just so everyone knows, we have the Scottish Society of Windsor Pipe Band. So welcome. What we, a few years ago, I was talking to the minister himself in the minister's office, and I said, I'm telling you, when you announce this project moving forward, there's going to be a band playing your entrance. So, hey, not just any band, the Scottish Society of Windsor Pipe Band. So welcome. So I truly want to thank everybody for being here. Today is an exciting day. A day we've been talking about in Windsor-Essex for quite some time. And a day that everyone in this audience deserves to have happen. Everybody in our community deserves to have happen. It's a day we're moving forward with the project. I want to welcome all of our guests that are here today. This project wouldn't happen without you, without our representatives from City Council, from County Council, without the Mayor, the Warden. This doesn't happen, and without the residents of Windsor-Essex. So without further ado, I want to announce our Minister of Health and Long-Term Care, Dr. Eric Hoskins, who's going to tell us why we're here today. So thank you.
Thank you, David, and good afternoon, everyone. I wish my wife was here because she's Scottish, and she would have absolutely loved the Scottish Society of Windsor Pipe Band. I know you've been benefiting from hearing from them for a few minutes. I also want to point out that the Shriners are going to be running out of fruitcake soon, and so I just urge you, and they had to travel all the way to Wilberforce to get them, and they're in limited supply. They go to a good cause, so anyone who hasn't got their fruitcake yet, and no jokes as well, they are fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, it is great to be back here at Windsor Regional, and thank you for joining us for this important announcement. It's great to be back in Windsor, especially on such a beautiful day, and to be here together with healthcare leaders, providers, patients, and volunteers. You know, one of the interesting things about my job is, I think you can appreciate, is I get to visit many, many hospitals across this province. We have more than 150 hospitals in Ontario. And as I am able to make those visits, I can see and I learn and understand just how different they are from one another. Obviously, they've got their similarities in terms of the essential programs that they provide and offer, but they also each reflect the community that they serve. And they reflect those individual needs of communities. And what I see here at Windsor Regional Hospital is a team of very, very dedicated and talented health professionals, administrators, support staff, and volunteers who are all working together very hard to provide the best possible care to patients. So thank you for all that you do. And I want to, of course, express my thanks to David Mouchet, who's the CEO of this hospital, and also Janice Kaffer, who's joining us today, as you know, the CEO of Hotel Dieu. And I want to thank and congratulate them and their teams for their incredible commitment and dedication to the people of Windsor and Essex. And I also want to acknowledge a few people. I want to, of course, where's Teresa? I want to acknowledge Teresa Peruzza, former MPP back here, who has always been and is and it will always be a champion of this hospital, of Windsor, of the new hospital as well. Thank you, Teresa, for joining us. And I know that we're also joined by Percy Hatfield and Lisa Gretzky. Percy is right here, and Lisa Gretzky. And I'm not sure if Taras Natashak, who isn't able to join us here today. I know he wants to be here, but I want to pause just for a moment and talk about these three individuals because, as you can appreciate, and if you've ever watched Question Period on television, different political parties, we sometimes jostle each other a little bit, and we don't always agree on things. And there's a little bit of theatrics as well. We have different perspectives on issues. But when it comes to hospitals, I think this is the case for all members of the legislature at Queen's Park that represent the whole province. When it comes to hospitals, we do agree, because we look at it through a common lens of knowing we have a responsibility to provide the highest quality of care, of health care, to the citizens of this province. And it becomes even more critically important when you're the MPP and you have a responsibility for a certain number of residents, a constituency, a riding. And those three individuals have been, well, I can't even remember or begin to tell you about the number of conversations, the number of notes that have come across the legislature to remind me about this hospital project, the close work that we've done as a team to work towards a vision of a new hospital for Windsor-Essex, and a hospital that will deliver the highest quality of care to a population that needs and deserves it. So thank you to Lisa and Percy and Taras for their hard work. And I know that we're also joined by Mayor Dilkins and Warden Bain. Thank you to the two of you for joining us here today. And I know there are many, many, many people in this room and outside who have contributed to this cause, this vision of a new hospital for Windsor-Essex. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter how hard the doctors and the nurses and the staff and the volunteers here at Windsor Regional, at the Ouellette Campus of Windsor Regional, no matter how hard they work, many of you are up there as well. This is an incredible we have a difficult time, I think, replicating this at any other hospital across Ontario. The weight of enthusiasm and the presence here just, I think, speaks to how committed and how compassionate and passionate the entire Windsor-Essex community is when it comes to hospital. So I was looking out here, and then my attention was drawn up to the what do you call that? It's not quite a balcony. What is it? The mezzanine area. But it really is tremendous to see how many people have come out today. But no matter how hard our doctors and our nurses and the staff and volunteers here at the Windsor Hospital work, there's one thing that they cannot fix, and that is aging facilities. While both Windsor Regional Hospital campuses have been renovated and expanded numerous times over the years to deliver the best care possible for patients, after a time it becomes necessary to replace facilities. And it's also a requirement when you have a growing population and you have an aging population, and when you have new technologies and innovations which allow us as a society to provide, to develop, and to provide even higher levels of health care. So when that happens, it becomes necessary to build a new hospital to meet the changing and the growing needs of a community. And people seek out care from their local hospital because they trust that their hospital can and will provide them with that care that they need. One that will enable them to provide you with the state-of-the-art care that Ontarians have come to expect of their hospital. So David and his team are going to build a new hospital right here in Windsor to meet the needs of this city and the surrounding region, both Windsor and Essex counties that have come to depend on the Windsor hospitals. And that's why I'm proud to be here today to announce that our government is pleased to be moving forward with a new modern hospital to serve the communities of Windsor-Essex. And if there was ever any doubt, it's there in black and white, the investment and the set aside of the funds in this spring budget. So we are absolutely committed to moving forward with this new hospital. And I should add, today is a particularly critical moment because Windsor Regional has just passed a critically important milestone, moving ahead to the next stage, to stage 2 of the capital planning process. So this new facility is going to increase access to care for patients and help to ensure the safety of the staff who work so hard to provide you with high-quality care. The new hospital is going to, as you know, serve nearly 500,000 people in the region. And so whether you're having surgery or starting a new family, this new hospital is going to be here to serve your needs when you need it. Now, my ministry is working with the Erie St. Clair Local Health Integration Network, Windsor Regional Hospital, and Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare on planning for the new hospital. And we'll continue to finalize the plan for the programs and services that the new hospital will offer, to include, among other services, neonatal intensive care, cardiology, emergency intensive care, coronary care, all those pieces that you would expect to receive at a state-of-the-art modern hospital. And importantly as well, as part of this process, our government is committed to working with our partners to examine the ongoing use of the Ouellette Campus as a means to continue to provide health services in the downtown core. And consideration is being given to moving acute mental health beds to the Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare's Tayfor campus in order that we might create a regional center of excellence for mental health. So, and I know that many different options will be looked at during this planning process. So the work continues, and I think it's important that those of you who are, which is likely all of you, committed to this project, that you continue to make yourselves heard and continue to be part of that discussion in terms of those issues and more, in terms of the mental health region, the regional center of excellence for mental health, but also maintaining health services for the downtown core. Ladies and gentlemen, this work is, and it's not over yet, but this work to date is the culmination of a lot of work by a lot of people who believe so strongly in the need for a new hospital in this community. But there's still a lot more work to be done. But it is true that today we move one important step closer to building a state-of-the-art hospital that will meet the needs of Windsor-Essex. Our government understands the importance of hospitals to our community. You know, I think I might be the only MPP that doesn't have a hospital in their riding. But over the next decade, our government is committed to investing $20 billion in hospital infrastructure projects across the province. So, in closing, congratulations. I want to congratulate all the residents of Windsor-Essex on your new hospital, and our government looks forward to working with you throughout the planning and construction process. So let's get it built. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you, Minister Hoskins. I can tell you I've worked with a lot of ministers of health in my tenure here at Windsor Regional Hospital. I can state that I respect what you do and how you do it. Knowing the issues we face at Windsor Regional Hospital on a daily basis, as you stated, there's over 150 hospitals plus all of the other healthcare agencies in this province. We're just a speck of the issues, an important spec, like you said, but a spec of the issues you face. And truly, I'm in awe of yourself and your staff for how you're tackling those issues and making healthcare better for the residents of our province of Ontario. So thank you so much for that. And I gotta say this for Dave Cook. I said the only thing Donald Trump has stated that's accurate is nobody knew healthcare could be so complicated, right? And also, Mr. Minister, I respect you also for what you've been doing with our local MPP colleagues. Lisa and Percy are here, and Taras, I know, wanted to be here. The four of you, as you stated, could have turned this whole thing into a big bun fight up at Queen's Park, and you didn't. Under your leadership, working hand in hand with these individuals, with our MPPs, you made this a reality. And that speaks a lot about your leadership, about who you are, and about who they are. That we looked at the issue, you put politics aside and said what is the right thing to do for the residents of Windsor-Essex, for province of Ontario, and you worked together to make that happen. And I can tell you, as you know, that's what residents of Ontario want to see. That's what residents of the world want to see with respect to politicians. So in my opinion, you're not just the Liberal Minister of Health. You are the Minister of Health for the province of Ontario and everyone in the province. So thank you so much for that. Well, Windsor-Essex, this thing is happening. As he said, let's get it built, right? Who would have thunk it? It just shows anything is possible for us. Nothing's in doubt, folks. Anything's possible. This is huge for Windsor-Essex. I can't thank the residents enough. From the start, we said, of course, we're not going to make everybody happy. We don't live in that world. If you live in that world, please invite me to it. I would love to spend at least 5 minutes in it. It doesn't exist. But darn it, did we come so close to making everybody happy with respect to the plan that's been submitted and the plan that's moving forward. So thank you so much. And you got to remember what made this project so special is that our elected politicians, no matter their political stripes, just like the leadership shown by Minister Hoskins, Percy, Lisa, Taras, came together as a region and said, we're going to make this a reality. And when the city and the county, without hesitation, approved combined $200 million levy for our share of this project, man, that made a lot of noise in the province of Ontario, and that made this project get to where it's at right now, in literally a very short period of time when you compare it to others. So thank you, everyone at the county, at the city, Warden Bain, Mayor Dilkins, and your teams, just amazing. Thank you so much. Now, as Minister Hoskins stated, we've got some work to do. We got to examine the possible use of the Ouellette site for an interim period of time for urgent care and some day surgery procedures. So that's the work we're going to be doing. And while we start planning for the new acute care hospital. Our community engagement process, which some who are experts in the field have stated has been the most inclusive and transparent community engagement process ever in the province of Ontario. Actually, we're going to kick it up a notch. So anyone who is interested, you're going to hear about this. Anyone who is interested, as Minister Hoskins indicated, in mental health services, in ICU, critical care services, in emergency services, in NICU services, you're going to have an opportunity to be on the advisory committee to help support, develop those programs for the new acute care hospital as well as the other areas of the health system transformation that's coming. So please, you're going to see that. You're going to be part of it. You folks have amazing experience and knowledge in this crowd and outside of this building that are going to help build a new Windsor-Essex healthcare system for our region for generations to come. So thank you so much and look forward to that. So many other people to thank, members of our Site Selection Committee, the Program Services Steering Committee, Board of Directors for both Windsor Regional, Hotel du Grace Healthcare, Leamington, Erie Shores, Erie St. Clair Lynn. I thank you for the amount of time you put towards this project. so far in the amount of time we're going to have to expend moving this forward. To my team, some of it, Kevin Marshall, Steve Irwin, Ron Foster, Giselle Sullins, Allison Johnson, I just want to say thanks for taking all those phone calls from me early in the morning and late at night and waking up your families. I'm sorry that I did it to you, and I'm sorry I interrupted your sleep on many occasions, but we're here, and we said it's going to be tenfold moving forward, so expect some more calls. I apologize in advance. Peter Cafeterian, who's the ADM for the ministries here today, along with Ralph Ganner for the Erie St. Clair Shores, for the Erie St. Clair Lynn. Those two guys and our team have spent a considerable amount of time moving this project forward. We've had some spirited discussions, which is good because we keep each other moving forward, but we take a step back and we look at, you know what's in the best interest for the residents of Windsor-Essex, what's in the best interest for the province of Ontario, and that's why we're here today, is because we're all committed to make that happen. So thank you, Peter, and thank you, Ralph, for being part of that. One last person I got to thank, and he's not the least person, is, you know, I knew this guy when I started this process because he has a reputation in our community, but since then, I've really admired him as a dear friend, and Dave Cook. So Dave, probably I've talked to Dave in the last 5 years more than anyone in my own family. So we've had literally multiple daily conversations. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Dave is no longer on Twitter. There's a reason for that. But unlike me, Dave doesn't get a dime for any of this. I get paid. Dave doesn't. But Dave has been there nonstop, starting back from the task force with respect to the Programs and Services Steering Committee, co-chair. He's been there nonstop. So Dave, we cannot thank you enough. You've been amazing. I look forward to working with you the rest of the way. I mean, in addition, every single news item you and I talk about, especially American politics, we've had our great debates with respect to that. Almost TV show worthy sometimes when we get into debates. But Dave, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done with respect to this project. So Windsor-Essex, we did this, man. You deserve this. We're moving forward. Congratulations. Thank you so much. As stated, we're moving forward, man. We're moving forward. Thank you. So now I'd like to call up Ms. Janice Caffer, who's the President and CEO of Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare. Janice.
What a day, hey? What a day. So good afternoon, and thank you everyone for being here today. On behalf of the entire Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare family and team, many who are here today in the audience with us, can you put your hands up, please, all of my Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare peeps? Thank you. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you, Minister Hoskins. Your personal and your professional commitment to healthcare is very clear, and we're very grateful for it. Thank you. Your presence here in Windsor today sends an important and I would say powerful message to our entire community and many of our frontline workers, both with Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare and Windsor Regional Hospital, that high quality and safe healthcare in Windsor-Essex matters to you as much as it matters to us. So thank you. Today's announcement and the endorsement by Minister Hoskins for our Windsor-Essex Hospitals System plan is an incredibly important validation of the government's commitment to healthcare for all citizens of Windsor and Essex County. As I personally look ahead at tomorrow and all the tomorrows ahead, I certainly do understand that there remains a tremendous amount of work to do. Work that I, my team, David and his team are very glad to be doing. Today is a day of celebration for all of us. Thank you. As I thought about what I would say today, I thought about lots of different things, but I would like to make a couple of comments about how fitting it is that this announcement for a new state-of-the-art hospital takes place here at the Ouellette Campus, where nearly 130 years ago, the very first hospital in the region was founded. At the time, it was its own state-of-the-art acute care hospital, and it met the needs of the community at a time when those needs were most acutely felt by those that were most vulnerable. The founders of the first Hotel Dieu Hospital were, of course, the religious hospitallers of St. Joseph, and to this day, they continue to support our community, and I assure you that they are very pleased to see this project proceeding. They are with us in spirit, and I have their assurances they continue to pray for us all every week. I personally am glad of their prayers. I was very glad yesterday of their prayers. And it's nice to have them in our corner. And I can assure Minister Hoskins that they're going to be praying for you as well in the future, now that you've announced this wonderful announcement here. I think they would take a little credit that maybe they prayed to help you along in that decision-making as well. Many of the folks up there in the mezzanine or in the gallery will remember Sister Dufo, a local sister who dedicated many years to this very campus, and she's following the developments very closely today and will be as happy as we all are about this announcement, and I'm sure she sends her best regards. And with the indulgence of the minister and everyone here present, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the religious hospitallers of St. Joseph and our sponsor, Catholic Health International, represented here today by someone who needs little to no introduction and was himself president and CEO of this particular hospital, Hotel Dieu, from 94 to 2002, Mr. Frank Bagato. He's right there. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge members of our Hotel Dieu Grace Healthcare Board of Directors, many of whom are present here today. These dedicated volunteers, and they don't get a penny. They get really good chicken marsala dinners. That's what they get. They give tremendous time and energy to the provision of healthcare in our community, and I'm grateful that all of you are here. Thank you. I would like to take you back to July 16th of 2015. Which was the date that we collectively announced the Windsor-Essex Hospitals System proposal, and we revealed the location for the new acute care hospital on County Road 42. It was a bus ride, if you all recall. It was a long bus ride. And I stood here on this campus towards the end of that tour in the John Millett Healing Garden and made a commitment to our community that we looked forward to one day coming home to our Ouellette campus. With today's announcement, not only are we counting the days to the next steps in achieving our new acute care hospital, which is a tremendous success on all fronts, we are also counting the days to being able to bring Hotel Dieu back to Ouellette and continue the work of our founders. I look forward to keeping that promise I made in 2015. And this announcement also means, as was referenced by the minister, that we're poised to continue our work to build an equally important state-of-the-art mental health and addiction system for the citizens of our region, which is so badly needed. And I think all of you should join me in recognizing the tremendous work that the minister and his team have been doing in mental health and addictions. Things are changing, they're changing for the better, and it's really making lives better for many of our citizens, and that's tremendously important to us, Minister, so thank you very much. And you heard it straight from him. We're going to get a state-of-the-art mental health and addiction system in Windsor-Essex, and that's a reason to celebrate. So to the Minister and the Government of Ontario, we are certainly grateful for bringing us one significant step forward towards a state-of-the-art acute care hospital for our citizens. And I'd like to personally thank Dave Muget, who's done a tremendous amount of work today. He won't thank himself, but I think I should thank him on behalf of everyone here. If you all aren't as exhilarated as I am, I'm not quite sure what you're missing, because today is a great day. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Janice. I'd like to now call up Mr. Dave Cook, who really doesn't need introduction other than to say he's also the co-chair of the Program and Services Steering Committee. Dave?
I'd be the right place if I fell. Thank you, David, and Minister, and everyone else that's here today. This is truly a great day. I am a volunteer, but I guess I want to make reference to all the volunteers that have been part of this process, from hospital boards to the committee that we served on right from the beginning. It was 5 years ago, in 2012, that Dwight Duncan appointed a nonpartisan committee. Teresa Perusa, I think Teresa might have had to leave to go back to work, but Teresa's still here. Tom Porter, Tom's a Tory, and myself, a New Democrat, and of all three parties to go and consult with the community and see what kind of support there was to move from 2 acute care facilities to an integrated acute care system of 1 hospital in our community. Teresa, that was a fun 6-7 months. When our report went in the November, in between, we consulted with people all across. We had all sorts of volunteers attached to our task force. I think our budget was 0. We had town hall meetings. We met with city councils, county councils. We went on the radio for phone-in shows. We really, I think, started the ball rolling for community involvement in this whole process, which has continued to this day. I just want to thank both Teresa and Tom, if he were here, for getting that all started. And I think we've also got to recognize that we wouldn't be where we are today if Dwight Duncan hadn't taken that first step of saying it's time to talk in our community about moving forward. So I'm cutting out most of what I'm supposed to say, so you could be assured I'm not going to go on for long. I also want to thank, as David did, all of the locally elected officials, our MPPs who worked hand in hand with not only the minister, but also with our steering committee in order to move this forward, and our county council and our city council. I think we got to remember what they did at a time when the economy in Windsor was still in recovery. We had lots of people unemployed. They pushed forward on a $200 million tax increase in order to make sure that the 10% was guaranteed from our local community. It was unanimous at County Council, and it was unanimous -1 at City Council. Now, Minister, you and I have been at the provincial level. Unanimous is rare. But this level of support at the County Council, David and I remember when we were out there, the only argument they had was who was going to be able to move the motion and who was going to be able to second it. So I just feel thrilled with today with the support that we've had across the community. We'll continue to have David's commitment that this is still a partnership, so that at the end of the day, when the ribbon is cut for this new hospital and this new system, you're going to look at this and you're going to say, you're not going to say this is Windsor Regional or this is Hotel du Grace. You're going to say this is our hospital. We had input on what it was going to look like and what it was going to do, and it reflects the input from our community. It's our hospital. It's our community hospital. So thanks to all of you for what you've done to this date, and get ready for a lot more work and a lot more opportunities to be involved with designing this hospital.
Well, folks, that's it. So thank you so much for being here. Again, a great crowd. It is quite daunting when you look up. It's quite a great view, seeing you guys over the balcony. Just be careful, right? But thank you, and again, thank you, the Scottish Society of Windsor Pipe Band, who's going to end up playing us out pretty soon. The one thing that we're going to be doing is a few of us are going to head over to the new site 42 and 9, and you know where it says that word proposed? We're going to X that baby out, because this is happening. That's where it's being built. So congratulations, Windsor-Essex. This is happening. So again, Minister Hoskins, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. Like I said, we're that much and important that much on your schedule, but I know how busy it is for you with everything going on across the province. But thank you for what you're doing. You're doing a great job, and you should be proud of what you're doing. So thank you so much. Sorry? So you want to ask questions, I'll talk to you later, no problem, all right? So I'll take you offline. So thank you, everybody, Windsor-Essex, for what you're doing. We're moving forward. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great holiday season.